This is Flint Long, everybody. I'm so glad you joined me for this. In our last video, we did a position. Well, we've been doing this with the point to G and let the hand fall. Point to G, let the hand fall. But then I started talking about a position where your thumb is on C, and actually we're just playing a C chord, but we're going to use a different set of fingers. The second finger on E, the fourth finger on G, like that. Why? Because we're going to move. We're going to go like this. Then we're going to go up here to these two. Then we're going to go up here to these two. Now I feel a stretch in my hand there, and you probably will too. G and B flat, and rock it there. And then come back. Okay, so we can do a lick like this. Now, that was a scrape off from E flat to E natural there. Get used to that because you're going to be doing that a lot. Let's do that again. As a matter of fact, let's start the lick with that scrape off. So we'll go. As a matter of fact, there's another scrape off in there we can do. Listen to this. We can scrape off that G flat onto that G. Now if we put it together with one of the left-hand patterns I showed you on an earlier lesson, it'll sound like this. First let's get the left hand going. That time I didn't scrape off. I was on the F chord down here, the 4 chord, but I left my index finger on E flat, and it sounded badass, didn't it? We want our blues and Boogie Woogie to sound raw. We want it to sound blue. And so to get that, we need as many of those little tricks as we can have. We need to scrape off those blue notes, that E flat onto that G flat. That sounds, if you ask me, it sounds bluesy. That's exactly what I like. And that's what I want to show you. And don't forget, I'm going to show you all of that stuff that I'm doing in here. Basically, I stick it in because I can't resist. It feels so good. But anyway, get that down. So, and then later, when you're doing this pattern that I showed you, remember that? All that is that pointed chord there. You point to G and let that fall. That's all that is. With a scrape, with a slash down the keyboard like that, using your thumbnail. Be sure and use your thumbnail. Yeah, it'll hurt your thumb otherwise. Okay, Ray. Hold on. Let's see. Where were we? When I go to the F now, no scrape, just E flat. That's the easiest thing in the world there. That's the easiest thing. You can do that your first week of playing the piano. 5th finger on C, your index finger is on G, and you just go G flat to G natural. Okay, now what I want you to do is take this information and make it your own. Do it your own way. You're going to find, you're going to have some ideas. You're going to go like this. You're going to probably do something like this. And let me show you something else about that. We did that in the last lesson, that turnaround. But now I'm going to show you something else. I'm pointing to B with my third finger. Do you notice how the notes of a G7 kind of naturally fall? I point, and then look, this finger's already in the right place. The thumb comes up, and this finger is almost in the right place. That's that G7th that I was playing earlier. That's the one I play up here. That's a G7th. And so when I go for the turnaround, I could go like this. See, it sounds much fuller. It's a G7th instead of just, it's basically the same thing, but I'm filling in the extra notes that this leaves out. That kind of leaves some things out. And those are the notes it leaves out. Now, when you're coming back into the beginning of a progression, after a turnaround, you might need a pickup. Okay, what's a pickup? A pickup is a series of notes, a few notes, maybe 2 or 3, that lead in before the first beat of the first measure of that next progression. So in other words, right there, there's a big hole. So what am I going to do? Well, there's some stuff I can do. I can do a pickup. That was my pickup. Of course, I had to jump up. I went and then I had to go from here to jump to get up to my scrape off on the E flat. If you have some trouble with the coordination or the jumping over the intervals, there's nothing I can really do to make it easier. You have to go through it like I did, like all the Boogie Woogie players do. We just have to struggle with it for a while until we get it. Maybe take the tempo down. Let's see, take it down even further. Now you sound bluesy. And there's lots of pickups that you can do in the middle of a turnaround or at the end of a turnaround, like that's another one. So you got this whole, remember that position? That's from the lesson before. So now you've got 2 pickups and you've got this lick with the scrape-offs. And I'm just so glad to be sharing all this with you. Now, my friend pointed out that I'm not saying something I'm supposed to say, which is be sure to subscribe to my channel. And what's the other one? Oh yeah, leave your comments below. I welcome comments. I especially welcome questions. And I will get back to you. I will answer every question on a personal basis, unless somehow I end up with 1 million hits, and then it might get a little problematic, but I'll do my best to answer every question. And I love your comments, and I love the fact that you're learning your Boogie Woogie. Bye for now.